Today, we're talking about how to use business to build the tribes of the future, tribes capable of reshaping civilization itself. This is very grandiose, I know, but it's what we do here at the Retribalize project. Essentially, my thesis is that as AI automation takes place, as nihilism builds, as people feel more disconnected from culture, tradition, community, all the things that nourish the soul of humanity, as these things fall away, people are getting hungrier and hungrier for tribe, for community. It's the deepest instinct inside of human beings, and that is to be part of something bigger, to be part of something bigger than themselves that is meaningful. Hence, we're going to see a rebirth of tribes one way or another. And if you are an entrepreneur out there, I think this is actually the future of business. This is the last great frontier there is. We have done the business experiment, the capitalist experiment for a couple hundred years now. We've gotten so good at building businesses. And in fact, businesses or maybe a sports team is the last place people feel real, like maybe camaraderie with each other. But I think business is about to transform by some of you who become tribe entrepreneurs. So if your ambition is to start some kind of town, village with your friends, new cities, new civilizations, this is an archetypal map that you should be very aware of. I've been thinking about this for a long time because my obsession, of course, is building teams. So I'm actually traveling the world with our core team right here. We're in Tulum right now. We're building the Retribalize app, which is going to be amazing for you guys. This incredible matchmaker designed to connect you to other leaders. And also we're building the Men's Academy. Got a couple more guys coming to join us from the Men's Academy. And one thing am always kind of focused on is how do we cultivate a team that builds a successful business, but also build something more than a business? How do we build a team that creates a culture? Not like a corporate culture, but a real culture, a team that's like bonded for life, that's united in their destinies towards an ideal, and is actually cultivating more of a tribe feeling, a family feeling than a business feeling. So this may seem wild, right? All these ideas I'm about to present here, but my friends, the bottom line is like everyone wants to live in a village with their friends. It's like the most deepest impulse, especially in my generation. We can't afford housing. Like people just want to do this. So many people want to do this right here on your screen, like build something off grid, build a new city. And I think business is where we need to start. So let's dive right into this and the archetypal map. So a little bit nervous for this video. My voice is shaky, but let's do it. So in the beginning of a Retribalize project, a team must unite around an economic engine. This is so important. Intentional communities of the past fail because most of them have a rich founder or they get investment money poured into them, but they have no revenue model. They have no mission that's actually uniting people together to create value, to create resources, and therefore the intentional communities that I've lived in, everyone is working diverse jobs. Scarcity is rampant. Most projects are half finished. Everything's underfunded, and people aren't actually bought in for the long-term stake. They're not thinking generations ahead. They're thinking 1 year ahead, a day ahead, whatever. There's a lot of transient energy in intentional communities, and most of them are just like hippie, spiritual villages, which are really one-dimensional, right? So intentional communities suck. They fail because they don't understand the archetypal map and they haven't built an economic engine. This is something I talk about very often on the Retribalize project, so make sure to subscribe to see those videos. So getting back to building a business though. So basically the business, if you find core people, like inner circle members through our app, through the internet, or through your local environment, bring them together around a project of some kind. Now, the more ambitious ones out there, really the leaders out there, are going to be thinking about how do we start generating money as a team? How do we liberate the core team around us so that we can invest our energy deeper into land, culture, community, things of this nature, right? So the two types of people that you need to look for as a tribe entrepreneur is obviously the first one is builders of the business. If you don't have a great business idea right now, Doesn't really matter. If you are meant to lead, what you need to do is start attracting people and growing your social capital, because then you can connect people who either have a genius idea already, or so that your team can have a great conversation and generate a genius idea, right? So you need to find people who are very capable. And this is what I look for when I am basically like considering someone to come join us, to join my inner circle in some way. Do they have capacity, especially if they're a man? Do they have capacity? Can they like take action, execute things? Are they savvy technically, X, Y, and Z? Capacity, heart, and intelligence. Those are the three things I look for in builders, right? But the thing is, and my biggest fear with the Retribalize project and starting a tribe as a business at first, the biggest fear and the biggest pitfall that people fall into is they over-index on one archetype. Generally, right, that archetype is the turbo merchant. So let's quickly understand the archetypes. Yeah, it's a good time to do this. So this map here kind of outlines the main archetypes that I think are an essential piece for building the communities that are capable of actually shifting the paradigm of creating real culture that lasts. I have broke down this chart on previous videos, but I'm going to go through it quickly here so that we understand and get a feel for what we're trying to create. So essentially, this chart is split on two axes. The vertical axis is between the heavenly kingdom, right, God, and the earthly kingdom. And generally, people are more oriented towards one of these. The philosophers and the mystics, right, are oriented upwards. The shaman of the community, the mentor, the kind of the balancer of the spiritual world, he's always set apart and oriented upwards, but he offers a crucial role to any community, and that is mentorship and also creating alliances between the left and the right. The shaman, the king and queen, and the farmer, right? These are all on this vertical axis. These are very important archetypes. Essentially, the farmer, the king and queen, and the shaman, they occupy these bigger spheres. These bigger spheres have many other sub-archetypes inside of them, but what this sphere is basically the bridge. They're all bridges, right? The king is the man, or king and queen are the people who create alliances between the vibey left, the community leaders, the people who love throwing the parties, playing the games, bringing the music, the dance, the ritual, the vibes guys, right? They create alliances between the vibes guys and the builders. I call the left and the right. The reason I actually made this map was because of this incredible polarity we see in the world. And this incredible polarity I see in my friends. I occupy many different worlds of friendships, many different friend circles. And the main polarity is between the vibes guys, right, and the daemonic guys, the Promethean builders. So this is where we understand the turbo merchant, okay? So get this polarity down here. The Promethean builders are people who are more interested in heroic feelings, in ambition, in bringing will into the world, right? If they're oriented upwards, they become philosophers, they become pagan, heroic, right-wing dudes, they become crypto visionaries, right? They become occultists and scribes. If the daemon, which is the power of desire and will, if the daemon is oriented downwards towards the earth, these people tend to become merchants, engineers, architects, or warriors, right? And essentially, the daemon is the force that's going to build an empire. It's going to build the town. It's going to advance into the outer reaches of medicine, technology, art, not necessarily art, but like it's going to advance into frontiers and build new worlds. The daemon is so important. And the most daemonic people out there are usually the like crypto startup engineer guys. They have tremendous will, as well as some of like the vitalist bros. So they have tremendous daemon, and you need that to build anything. The problem is they are often diametrically opposed with the vibey left, right? With the people who are more interested in being fathers, lovers, creating families, bringing art to a community, hosting community gatherings, throwing festivals, chilling in a Burning Man camp, telling stories, the people who are more mystical and loving and devoted in their spirituality versus heroic, honor-based spirituality. There's a deep divide here, right? And if you go to most like intentional communities, hippie villages, Burning Man festivals, you get so many people, almost everyone there, all the psychedelic space, the spiritual communities, all of them, right? They want to build villages with their friends. They want to live in community. The problem is none of them are capable of actually building the resources, the economic engines, the architecture, and advancing civilization forward. Hence, they all just want to return to nature, but they want to do it with their friends. But they bring such an important element to a community, and that's the glue inside of a community. It's the events, it's the love, it's the dance, it's the party. I love hanging out with these guys, right? Hold on. Love hanging out with these guys, and I also love hanging out with the Promethean Right, my great friend Brennan, who's a CTO of the Retribalize project, an incredible man, is so Promethean. He wants to start a Promethean holy order. Smartest dude I've ever met. So steeped in the wisdom of Western civilization. He taught himself full stack development in 3 months for the app and is running an entire team in it. And my God, does he have the will of a Titan, right? He's so Promethean. This is the guy that's going to help us build a new world, right? But how do we create alignment between him and the vibe he left? This is the role of the shamans, the kings, and the farmers, right? So in this, we see the great problem that most communities run into. Okay. The great problem most communities run into, almost all of them, is they over-index on one archetype based off whatever they're building. This is the greatest error that leaders make today. Okay. Let me give you an example. If we go down to this image of Twitter before Elon Musk and Twitter after Elon Musk, what do we see? Before Elon Musk, there was an ideology of diversity, equity, inclusion. It was basically therapy culture with a bunch of HR, hence it was very feminine dominant, right? Very progressive left, feeling-based culture, which is beautiful for the inside of a community. It's not great for building the next great company or conquering the world, right? So Elon comes around, and of course, this is the guy who wants to conquer Mars, who wants to explore all frontiers, right? And he creates basically an autistic crypto bro. Like, he over-indexed on autism, right? This is really great. He basically got a team of turbo merchants and turbo engineers, right? Guys who are very sober consciousness and have tons of daemon oriented towards the earth. Bunch of guys in this lower right quadrant, which is great. These guys build the world, right? They build all the infrastructure, the architecture, they build shit. But the problem is this is going to create a business. It's not going to create a tribe. It's not going to create a culture. All these corporate cultures right here that we see, the left or the right, both of these corporate cultures call themselves a family or call themselves, they have culture. But really, it's just a superficial thing where everyone is disconnected. They go home alone. They're just colleagues if they're not enemies, right? And it's just a work environment. This is so dead, my friends. Business is going to transform because people are craving connection. We're craving meaning. We're craving to be a part of something bigger. And AI automation is coming along with a lot of different other social disasters, right? Hence, if you build a business that way, cool, you'll make some money. But even if you make all the money in the world, what do you want then? Right? It's like, man, a lot of these like business leaders and entrepreneurs and really rich people out there, they're so unimaginative. If I had $200 billion, I'd be starting a new civilization, right? If I had $100 million, I'd be building new towns, the next great academy. I'd be attracting the top talent all over the world. And I think a lot of people are in my shoes, right? So if you're with me on building a Retribalize project of any scale, whether that's a village with your friends, a new town, a city-state, or an empire, what you need to think about, right, is attracting top talent across the entire archetypal map, okay? This is very difficult to do because obviously we need to start by building a business so we can generate the resources to unite a team that can build greater projects. And as a result, you're obviously going to be looking for guys that are more Promethean, got ladies and gentlemen who are more Promethean, and then generally they're going to be merchant, builder, engineer archetypes, very like sober consciousness, directed will into the earth. The problem is then you end up lopsided. You end up with Elon Musk's team, and I think this is my big critique of the network state, of like Singapore and these, network state societies like Praxis is they're so over-indexed on autism that they miss the vibey left. The community leaders that create the ritual, the glue, the prayer, the music, the things that actually unite the heart of people. You can't build real culture and community uniting ideologies or just building things. There has to be something that unites the soul of people, right? Hence, you need a variety of archetypes, right? So as you're building a business, as you're attracting these types of people, you need to be always talent scouting. This is the role of the king and the queen. The king and queen, their general role, if you want to be a tribe entrepreneur, if you want to be a leader, is you are constantly talent scouting, building the social capital and recruiting into the inner circle, right? And let's talk about how to do the talent scouting very specifically here. So generally, there's two types of people that you need to look out for when you're building a business. Obviously, the builders, the engineers, the Prometheans, super important because ideas don't matter as much as execution, right? You will discover the best business idea by executing on whatever you have in front of you. And if you can build a team that's high in execution, all the better, right? So the next type of person to look for is the great additions who want to join and contribute to the project, travel/live with you. So right now, like I said, we're in Tulum. I invited a few more guys out from the Men's Academy, guys that I vetted, built a relationship with, and really liked. And the reason I invited them out is they're self-sufficient, right? They have their own finances in check. They have maybe their own business or something. And also they really want to join something bigger, right? And this is very interesting because this goes into attracting the top talent in the world without paying them, okay? So my argument is that if you're too polarizing or too over-indexed on one autism spectrum within your community, within your online community, your intentional community, your business, you're going to fail to attract the top talent in a diversity of fields. What you need to do is create something so inspiring, so grounded, and connected to an ideal that you do attract the top talent in a diversity of fields. And what you're looking for as a leader is excellence, is maturity of the archetype, right? But a diversity of archetypes. So for instance, like the vibes guy organizing community events, Prometheans architecting the great library, merchants generating insane value and capital for the tribe, start there. But then also keep in your back pocket, build the social capital of farmers, craftsmen, builders, down to the earth, right? Warriors like protecting, shamans, mentoring and guiding the youth, teachers. Keep an eye out and build this social capital so you can recruit at the correct time. The thing about recruitment, for any entrepreneur out there, they know this. Recruitment is so hard to find top talent when you need it. Hence, you should be constantly cultivating the garden for recruitment, right? So getting right down to the application here, if you want to be a tribe entrepreneur, there's a couple things that you should start doing right now. Number one, expanding your outer circle in every way possible, right? By expanding your outer circle by using our app, which is going to connect you to the most highly aligned people in the entire world who wants to build a village with you, you can start getting on calls with those people, vetting them through those calls, and then starting projects with them through the app. Right? So this app is a tool that allows you to have the same reach as a content creator like me who gets tens of thousands of views, every week. You can have the same reach as me to find really high quality people. Essentially how I've built my team, right, is this process of making content on my main channel and this channel, right? Always putting a link in my bio to talk to me one-on-one. I do like 1,000 calls every year to vet people into my online community. In my online community, I run 4 calls a week, right? Group calls, and then I follow up with people one-on-one. And from there, I find people that I have insane alignment with. It's like I'm filtering the entire world to find the people who share my dream and I have chemistry with. And once we build a relationship online, I invite them to come meet me, to come travel with us for a week. We have a few more guys coming out for the entire month here in Tulum to build this project. So my process for filtering people, it's not systematic yet, but essentially is when I meet someone I really like them, it's like, does this person bring unique talents and gifts to the project? Are they stoked on the project? Do they want to join it? And do we have high alignment? If yes, cool, invite them out for a trial period. And then at a deeper level, like for the inner circle, for the people I'm going to go the long haul with, would this person be the godfather of my kids? My friends, when we're talking about retribalized projects, we're talking about literally buying land and linking destinies together with people for life, right? There needs to be a deep filtering process for this. But with the internet, we can filter the entire world and start vetting people into that circle. And this is what the leaders need to take upon themselves in every way possible, and why we built this app for you, right? So yes, I'm going to talk to you about the app. This is a pitch to some degree, but guys, this app is built for this channel. We've been working on it for months, and it helps you. Obviously, it's the best recruitment tool ever made for the intentional community space, and we're just launching it October 24th, right? So essentially, you fill out a survey, a 10-minute survey, and it's going to start matching you through our extensive algorithm Brendan's been working on, right? And those matches, you have the option to get on calls with them, to book calls with them. And I recommend, doing 4 or 5 calls a week. This is what I do every week from people signing up to talk to me, right? I get on calls. If I like someone, I invite them to the Men's Academy. If you like someone, invite them to do a call next week, right? And just do 15-minute conversations, 30-minute conversations. Just build touch points, build your network. And when you really find someone you have a lot of resonance with, you share a vision or a dream, right? Start a project with them. Invite them to a project. That could just be traveling the US, doing photography. It could be, building some kind of like Notion database. It could be starting an app. Do some kind of project with them. Find people who want to do a project with you. And you build a relationship through just doing consistent calls, talking about your project or doing your project, right? And once you do consistent calls for a week, a month, 3 months, you tend to build a good relationship with people. I've done this so many times, and then you can meet up in real life, and it's wicked successful. My friends, like I said, I've met most of my best friends through my YouTube channels, right? And basically, I just want to give everyone the means without building content full time for many, many years. So the 3-step process, just to break it down again, is if you want to be a leader, have a big filtering pool of social capital. Put yourself out there and become someone worthy of leadership, someone who can communicate idea well, and constantly build your social capital. Building social capital, if you haven't been working on yourself and like building your personal and professional skills, is kind of a waste in some senses, because like no one's going to really value you yet, right? But as you build your personal and professional skills and then build your social capital, you build a big filtering pool. The process of becoming a tribe entrepreneur, again, is constant recruitment, constant talent scouting, and investing in people that you think are going to be very capable, high capacity. The thing is the people who are very capable, high capacity, and aligned with you generally are already working on big projects themselves. This is, again, why talent scouting, looking for people with mad potential, and then prioritizing the most aligned people, getting on consistent calls with them, and then working to get location freedom or meeting up in small ways or traveling together, right? The whole goal is to build a quality relationship. If you can just get one best friend, a true friend, or 2 true friends from this app, it's going to change your life more than anything. My friends, just 2 friends make any figment of a dream so much more tangible if you are combining your heart, your will, your mind, your skills towards it. The moment I met my friend Steven, right, in Mexico from the Men's Academy, and we were talking about the Retribalize project, it was that moment that the Retribalize project felt real, right? Like it's going to happen. So this is my advice to all the tribe entrepreneurs out there is A, always be expanding your social capital. B, find an economic project or unite a team that creates an economic project and use that as the foundation for building the tribe of the future. And as your economic project grows, look for people who have location freedom and can support themselves, who are a different archetype from the builders. Look for people who throw the community events. Look for people who, embody that shaman archetype. Like man, I love my friend Mitch, who is such a shaman archetype, such a healer, so gentle, so wise, so deep, just an absolute joy to be around. And he is gaining location freedom, so the project doesn't have to support him right away, but he can throw his weight and skill and his experience behind the project. The same with farmers. Build your recruitment pool constantly and build something more than a business. Let your business be means of building a real tribe, because at the end of the day, if you get all the money in the world, but you don't have people that you deeply love and are bonded with, what did it matter? Anyways, my friends, there's a link below to retribalize.ai. Start using our matchmaker today. Would absolutely love for you to become a power user, start a project, build your own tribe, or come join mine. I am active on that app. You can get on a call directly with me there. I'm looking for the leaders of the future. Let's go, team. Peace.